Go on. We'll call him out for it. Oh, brilliant. David. Fantastic.
Can I just say, hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back. Now, we had a bit of a bet, me and my mate David. So, David, if you are watching, I'm going to message you because this might be an advert now. Go to minute 3 seconds. He goes, how long until he mentions my name? I went, 15 minutes. And he went, I go under 10.
He
3 seconds.
He messaged me on purpose to try and get a raise out of me, didn't he?
And it's worked for me, believe me. Hello, lads and ladies. How are we doing? The show that I never thought was going to happen at one point tonight. Hope you're all well. Let us know if you can see and hear me okay. A busy weekend in EFL League One. We played on Friday. We played. We didn't play on Saturday, but we played a full game week on Friday. A lot of scores, a lot of goals, a lot of scores. Of course, there was 12 of them. And there were a lot of goals, a lot of drama, a lot of playoff denting, a lot of house proudness, a lot of drama personified. Big games at the top, big games in the battle to finish above Stevenage. Jake, how are we doing, mate?
I'm good, Nappers. I'm good, mate. I've just come straight off the Fans at Home podcast straight onto yours, so I'm already in broadcast mode. But yeah, no, I'm good, mate. It was I didn't go to Reading on Friday, and I maybe should have done given the result. I thought we were going to get absolutely battered, so I decided to stay away and watch it from home. So yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm trying to figure it out. I had a nice barbecue today, which was nice. Couple of lamb chops, burgers, sausage, chicken. It was amazing. And then I was actually before we started, I didn't realise the time. I just tucked into a fruit pastel ice lolly, thinking I had time, but I didn't. So now if I open my mouth too much, I'm worried I'm going to have like a slightly purple twinge to my tongue, which obviously would be quite disastrous.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. I've had a blue nose all season.
You've had a brown nose all season, mate.
Blue nose, mate. Birmingham City, mate.
Yeah. Which part of them have you got your nose up, Ben?
Knows all about Leyton Orient tonight. Who Palmex? Hello, mate. Hello, Colt. Now I've got a bit of a vote for you. My good friend from Colt. Where's my monthly payment? Your mum hasn't paid me this month, mate. To be your friend. You know,
I can't have friends, Nappers.
I would never say that.
I have lots of friends, mate.
David, hello, mate. 3 games to go. Purple tongue. It's like having a slush in it. I wanted a slush yesterday. I think you know something, right? Speaking of my weekend, the game on Friday was that bad. I got to about 70 minutes in and I thought, I'm not even going to upload this as a vlog. This is horrific. Like that, all that was missing was beach towels and a bucket, like a sandcastle. Hello, appreciate that, Chris Johnson. I'm happy to be his friend, lovely lad. Debatable.
Good lad, Cole. Cole's there for me.
Shane is always coming in with the donations. I do appreciate you more than you could ever know. Shall we get into it? Thank you very much, Shane. We're going to start off with watching Leyton Orient putting on a show. Leyton Orient 4, Barnsley 3. The game kicked off. Well, before the game kicked off, which we will come to, Conor Hourihane signed a deal to become the new Barnsley manager after impressing a little bit in his interim period as well. The former Barnsley player and promoted out of League One with Derby County, in at Barnsley as a player at the start of the year, as a manager at the end of it, player coach. He's pretty much done every role this season, you could possibly say. Conor Hourihane, what do you think about this appointment, Jake?
I think similar to the Rotherham appointment the other day. Was it Matt? I can't remember his surname for the life of me. Felt like Barnsley have gone cheap. I think the only positive that there is in it is that Conor will know the players already, having been there around them for a year. He'll obviously have a relationship with the sporting director. So yeah, I think it's good from that sense. But in terms of like ambition, you probably have Barnsley fans who wanted to maybe look at actually being a serious playoff team next year, rather than settling for mid-table where they are now. I think a lot of their fans would be disappointed. I imagine some of them would have wanted him to go and get Duff back or bring Paul Warne into the building. And they've ended up with Conor Hourihane. So it looks cheap, and it sort of goes along with the mantra that this current board just don't want to spend any money. And I think it just adds more ammunition to the Barnsley fans. Fire Arsenal, really. They don't really want to spend any money, and all of a sudden you've got Conor Hourihane, who has he done well enough since getting the job to warrant getting a full-time job? I'm not really so sure. Sorry, mate. You can jump in at any time.
Oh, sorry, I thought
you jump in at any time, mate.
No, we can't get a word in.
Ben's here. Ben's here.
No, you can't do it today.
Can't do it today, can I?
No, you can't do it today.
That. Sorry, Ben. What's the habit?
Anyway. I think that it's a very cheap appointment. If they did anybody else but Conor Hourihane, I think there would have been a thingy. But sometimes these appointments need to be made. And, eventually Conor Hourihane would have probably got in management. He's just at Barnsley, a club that he knows and loves, that he knows.
He loves that he knows. He loves that he knows.
Yeah, exactly. He knows the football club.
He knows and he loves.
He knows the supporters. He knows what the expectations is. And I think that their managerial appointments, bar Duff in the last few years, have been poor. Since Duff, really, the last two haven't really fit the mould of the football club, haven't really got the supporters, haven't really got the way they wanted to play. They've gone for a younger, more dynamic coach. So I in that business, I like it, but it is a cheap appointment, and they have got some good players there. They've improved. Jallo's come into life recently as well. You've got Stephen Humphries that has scored, I think, 3 or 4 goals in the last few games as well. So there has been improvement there. They're starting to play a bit of football. They're starting to have a go at teams. For me, I'm not a massive fan of the appointment, but I think it'll work, weirdly enough. I think it's one of the better ones he probably could have made for the money that they were going to spend. I never really thought Duff would go back. I never really thought that. Well, we'll go into the game.
They never go back to an ex, don't they?
They do that, Jake, and unfortunately, I've never learned. Well, anyway,
you've never had an ex to go back to.
Exactly. Well, I kept going back last year, mate. Jesus. Since the start of March, Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient's Charlie Kelman has scored 9 league goals, scoring another one on Friday. That's the most in any play in the top 4 divisions in England in that time. That's where you're going to go, well, I scored 10 in 5-a-side on Friday. From the start of December, right, only 2 teams have more points than Leyton Orient. In 26 games, Birmingham have picked up 63 points and Charlton picked up 57. How many do you reckon Leyton Orient have picked up?
They had that spell where they lost.
You picked up 30, by the way, in that time as well, Lincoln.
Oh, I think they'll be 46.
51 they've picked up in that time.
Yes.
Won 16, drew 3, lost 7. A remarkable amount. In this time, compared their opponents, Barnsley had only picked up 30 points, winning 9, drawing 3, losing 14 games. Leyton Orient know how to win games of football. They had to come from 2-0 down, 3-1 down to win it. Charlie Kelman was absolutely outstanding again. Ethan Galbraith was brilliant as well. Jamie Donnelly as well was fantastic. The way that he kept picking up the ball. I think, was it the 3rd goal? It was Donnelly into Kelman, Kelman into Sean Clare. It was a 3-piece move, as quickly in transition as you like. And if you were to show a montage of Richie Wellens football, I think that'd be one of the key clips you'd put in it, wouldn't you? That he's very quick, very frantic, gets the ball forward as quickly as you can. And he's a fantastic spirit. And one thing I will say about Leyton Orient, that first half I don't think was acceptable for their standards. Second half, he came out quicker, more intense. And I bet Richie Wellens' words in the dressing room was more of the lines of, lads, you're in a promotion race. Where's the intensity? To score 3 goals in 6 minutes in that second half through Kelman, Clare and Beckles is fantastic. Jeremy Donnelly with 2 assists, Kelman with a goal and assist as well. Against a Barnsley side that are improving. So much so Stephen Humphries has now scored 4 goals in his last 4 Football League appearances, as many in his previous 37 combined. However, he's lost each of those games in that current run. And Barnsley have just won one of their last 9 league matches played on Good Friday, losing 4 and drawing 4 as well. A great victory for the O's. who puts them now into a playoff spot with 3 games to go. A superior goal difference on Reading. So Reading basically need to go and get an extra point than Leyton Orient in that run. They've got a 20+ goal difference on Bolton Wanderers as well. So that's an extra point as well. They've got Cambridge away, followed by Wycombe at home, followed by Huddersfield. It's a tough run, but Richie Wellens' side, they're in the mix with 3 games to go, and their business in January, and the squad they've got now, your Kelmans, your Donnellys, your Abdullahs off the bench as well. They've got options. They've got a stronger squad. They've got maybe 4 or 5 extra bodies than they didn't have last year. Why can't this Leyton Orient side go on a run? Up for Manager of the Year in the week, followed by that. Goals personified, dramatic. It ends Leyton Orient 4, Barnsley 3.
God, they remind me so much of us, Ben.
Oh, we nearly got the playoffs last year.
It's better than getting relegated. It's better than getting relegated like you did, though, wasn't it?
We got relegated a year ago today.
Ugh.
That was, something.
That's the only anniversary you'll ever have, Ben.
I didn't go on social media from about after the game till about 2 p.m. the next day.
Because you couldn't hack it.
No, hang on a minute. Who was the one that came on and did the show the day after? Who was the one when they didn't get into the playoffs after going to Oxford fans going, see you in a few years when you're in League One and win the championship, and then you couldn't hack it the next week and didn't come on the show?
Yeah. Listen, you're welcome, Leyton Orient. I thought they were good yesterday. Showed a lot of character, obviously going 3-1 down. But, like to score 3 goals in the space of 6 minutes, Ben, like you say, with Charlie Kelman, who's probably the most prolific bagsman in the entirety of the whole EFL at the moment, the run of form that he's been on. But the way they cut Barnsley open in that spell, once they got 1 goal, you always knew that they were going to go and get 2 or 3 more and go and win the game. And sometimes football just has a really funny way of working things out. And I really think that this year, Leyton Orient are sort of destined to really achieve something particularly special. And you look at the results. You look at the results recently, and they've started winning again after losing so many games. But yeah, really good win yesterday. Really good character, really good style of football. But they're an outstanding football team, and Richie Wellens has done particularly well to get them into this position. And you mentioned the January recruitment, but I also think in terms of players coming back from injuries, or you're talking about Ollie O'Neill coming back into the fold. Abdullah's had a spell out, McCanday as well. So, good win for them. For Barnsley, obviously their season's over, aren't they? What are they, 12th in the league now? Can't particularly see a good end of the season for them. But they'll be disappointed to drop points. And the problem is, Ben, it always has been with Barnsley. You ask Fowler or you ask any of your Barnsley supporting friends, or they just concede goals late on in games. Like they're always concede. They don't. I think if you look at the league table from 75 minutes onwards, Barnsley must have lost so many games because they just concede really late. I remember when we lost to them 4-3. They were.
Can I kick him out?
Eh?
Can I kick him out?
Who, Parmex?
He said that without saying anything.
He texted me on Saturday, actually, saying thank you. Yeah. Not Saturday, Friday. God,
Friday.
Right.
Sorry.
Is there a need?
I just thought I'd bring out my clock impression. See you Friday. Shit house.
You're allowed to swear on here, Ruben.
It's my You can do what we want, son. It's my show.
It's your shit. We're not past the watershed yet, boy. Got another 45 minutes, but no doubt that'll only be about 3 games, knowing you and your stats.
Knowing you.
But I've just succinctly just summarised a 7-goal game in about 30 seconds, while you've taken about 16 minutes.
Well, I've got to get the stats in frame of the game. There's 63 people. Make sure you drop us a like. Let's see if we can get what?
That's poor, mate. That. It's a Sunday.
Some likes,
Sunday, though, isn't it?
If we can get some likes on the stream as well, and also subscribe as well. We're so close to 17,000 subscribers. We're about 100 30 away. I'd love to hit it by the end of the season. I don't think it's going to be likely now in the next 2 weeks, but if you could subscribe, it'd mean a lot to me. Bolton Wanderers 0, Wycombe 2. This Wycombe team showing the kahunas that they've got in the last 3 games or so, going away at Huddersfield and winning by a 1-0, beating Stevenage in the last minute through Caleb Taylor by a 1-0, and going away at Bolton and winning by 2-0. Clean sheet personified, and under Mike Dodds, Wycombe have won 7, drawn 4, and lost 3 in Sky Bet League One, taking 25 points across 14 games, 1.78 points per game, 8 clean sheets in 14 and 3 in 3. Wycombe have won 3 matches on the spin, as we previously mentioned, keeping a clean sheet in all of those games. They've also got 5 clean sheets in their last 6. No team in the division have conceded less goals than Wycombe Wanderers since Mike Dodd's arrival. They might have been a little bit flat in front of goal at times, not taking opportunities, but they are starting to find their groove. Drop points against sides you wouldn't think they should be dropping points to, but they are finding a way. Wycombe Wanderers are unbeaten across their last 6 league games against sides from Greater Manchester. I watched this game a couple of years ago where Wycombe won 2-0 on a Tuesday night against Bolton. What followed was Bolton beat Sunderland 6-0 and went on a dramatic run between now and the end of the year. And then Bolton... Please, Bolton. Bolton have now lost 6 of their last 8 matches. They have actually won the other 2. That's a little stat for you. Bolton Wanderers have lost 17 matches in Sky Bet League One this year. That's just 1 less than Birmingham, Wrexham, and Wycombe put together on 18 games. And, you know, you look at these are the sides that have lost less games than Bolton. Birmingham, Wycombe, Wrexham, CHARLTON, Stockport, Leyton Orient have lost 16. Reading, Huddersfield lost 17. Blackpool, Lincoln on 15. Barnsley have lost more. And then side of the bottom half, Wigan. That is it. And for a team like Bolton to lose 17 times in the season, a few years ago, you'd probably struggle to make them lose 7 times. My issue with Bolton is when they are poor and when they are down, they don't draw a game. When Bolton are at their fluent best, they win, and it's nice, it's fancy, it's pretty on the eye, because they've won 20 times this season, which is 1 more than Reading, 1 less than Leyton Orient, only 2 less than Stockport. Have been the most, in my eyes, them and Charlton been the most consistent sides in the division, as you can see with the points tally, you know, in terms of win, you know, what you're going to get. Birmingham have been consistent in terms of win. But, you know what you're going to get for a consistent playoff team. 6 draws this year, which, yes, Leyton Orient have also done the same, but won a game more. I just think they're so soft. And Stephen Schumacher alluded to that in his post-match, sorry.
Do you know what? I spoke to Cole for our pod and also for, I'd obviously just been on the fan zone. And what I sort of got from him was that I feel like Bolton players are a little bit, pardon me, a little bit too comfortable. Yeah, they've got it easy, haven't they? You think about they play in front of a really big crowd every week. They'll have some of the best facilities. They'll have the best chefs. They'll have the best, you know, I'm starting to sound house proud, but for Bolton here, but they've got some really good facilities.
I'm sorry. Next you'll say, well, they've got the best non-cathedral in the country. They've got the best gym. They've got the best manager. They've got the best ground. They've got the best supporters.
I've got the best gym. What was I going to say?
Even that second choice.
Yeah, but they're just very comfortable, aren't they? And I think a lot of them know that they're probably League One level players, and they're not going to get it better anywhere else. In terms of they know if they drop to another League One team, they're not going to play in front of 25,000 every week. They're not going to go to the training ground that Bolton have got. They're not going to do these sorts of things. So I think Bolton are a little bit comfortable. I think that before that actual state of mind showcased on Friday, I thought again they were quite arrogant. I thought they were really poor, didn't move the ball around anywhere nearly as well as they have done under Schumacher since he came in. I just think, I don't know, with Bolton, the vibe that I got with Cole was essentially they want to lose tomorrow just to try and kill the hope off, because, you know, as bad as they have been, 6 defeats in 8, and they're still only 3 points away from the playoffs. Like, it's absolutely bizarre. I think they'd rather just get rid of the hope now. I think they'd just rather take them around the back of the shed with a shovel and bat them on the head tomorrow and have their playoffs sort of dream over. Whereas for Wycombe, you look at it completely opposite. everyone sort of said a couple of weeks ago how Wrexham was just tying the run really nicely, after they beat Burton, and they'd opened up a little bit of a gap. But ever since then, Wycombe were just clawed away at them, and they've taken advantage. I mean, obviously, Wrexham dropping points against Wigan and Bristol Rovers. Not many people would have had them dropping points in both games. So to put, their situation is now back in their own hands with Wycombe, and I think that's what they wanted all along. Mike Dodds, he's had a lot of criticism. The football's not been great. I mean, I said to you the other week, didn't I? When I went to Wycombe, I didn't think they were any good. I didn't think they were outstanding. Certainly not a team that looked like they've been in the automatic race. What I would say, Wycombe are just effective, and that again showed yesterday. They weren't massively they weren't fantastic. They were just effective, and they had the chances, and they put them away. And I mean, the first goal was a great example. Caleb Taylor gets half a chance, sticks it in. The second one, Luke Leahy, the same. So yeah, it's a massive win for Wycombe. It's a massive win because it, like I say, it puts their own destiny back in their own hands. It's away at Bolton, who everyone thought at the start of the year they were going to be up there with Wycombe. It's a bit of a statement win, with Wrexham dropping points. Yes, they've got the harder running, but this Wycombe team, Ben, we have to remember when they're playing full of confidence, which they probably will be now that they're back in second place and it's theirs to lose. They've got a really good chance of achieving something really special this year.
They absolutely have, and I think that win at Rotherham late on that I watched, they won 3-2, changed it to go away at Huddersfield and Bolton, a big wins.
Huddersfield.
They are better than those two football clubs at this moment in time. Better squads, as the table alludes to. Huddersfield and Bolton are an absolute joke at the moment, like
correct,
miles off it. Everton out. Going and playing in front of a big stadium sometimes, I think, is the biggest thing. That you've
what would you know, Nappers?
Fleetwood actually over the years. We beat Portsmouth, we beat Sheffield United twice.
You know what they call Highbury, don't you? You know what they call Highbury, the Wembley of the Fylde Coast.
Yeah, as well.
Because it's red and round.
Yeah, but there's no VAR at this one that don't disallow offside goals in October of the League One season. Anyway, going to a big stadium away from home and winning and showing that bottle and that composure in front of big crowds, 20,000 there as well. And you've got your supporters 300, 400, 500 there, whatever there was from Wycombe. Going there and winning is massive. It is absolutely massive. This Wycombe side have shown a little bit of bottle, a bit of composure. Look, Wrexham haven't won it. Wrexham were unbeaten in 7, but they've dropped points in 3 of the last 4. And that is where you're starting to think, with Wycombe, they weren't losing games. Yes, I know they lost to Wrexham at home 1-0 and nothing.
They were narrow, weren't they? They were just
they lost narrowly away at Birmingham, right? Mm-hmm. By the scoreline, that is. But the other games, they were drawing. They were drawing and dropping points probably where they shouldn't have dropped points. And my issue is with them, when they were winning, they were probably just scraping through. They scraped through last week, didn't they? 1-0 against Stevenage at home. But my issue was before that, the 0-0 at home to Shrewsbury on that Tuesday night, where you probably would say the 1-1 at Peterborough where they didn't play well. They got a late goal to rescue it. The 0-0 against Wigan at home. Those 2 games, Wigan and Shrewsbury at home, you think, if you won them, you'd be at 88 points. You'd be 5 clear of Wrexham and you could be promoted tomorrow. It's as simple as that. But Wrexham will also be thinking the same. Massive victory for them. They've only conceded 37. They've scored 69 goals this year. It's in their hands. Yes, there's 3 massive games to go and they're tough games. If you want to be a championship team next season, well, I'm sorry to say, CHARLTON at home, Leyton Orient away, and Stockport at home.
Easy games,
have been. They'll be as easy as you get. The championship is brutal, and those sides are really good at this level, don't get me wrong. But if you want to be the best, beat the best. I'm a massive believer in that. And Wycombe have gone away at these sides. Look, they've got 2 ground games at their own ground against a side that are now mathematically in a playoff spot, hunting down top 2. Look, CHARLTON tomorrow, no disrespect to them, they could realistically, in the best scenario, be 2 points off Wycombe. But Wycombe have got to go, right, be horrible to play against. I can see this tomorrow being a horrible affair. Both sides are very well structured, well set up, defensively strong. They've conceded 37 and 39. Very well organised. and hard to break down. Good at the basics, do the non-negotiables very well, and I can see it being a 1-goal game. I really can tomorrow. It's going to be about 3-2 now, isn't it? But Wycombe, there were 6 points adrift 2 games ago with that game in hand at Huddersfield. Nobody gave them a chance. Wrexham, the performances haven't been great. We'll come to them in a bit, but a massive result for Bolton. Miles off it. They've conceded 64 goals this year. A couple of years ago, you halve it. I don't think Bolton would concede 32 goals. They're so easy. You know, for me, I love Collins. I like McAtee. Somebody needs to change in a forward line because that front two won't win your promotion. I hate to tell you, they won't. They are missing a John Daddy Bodvarsson figure. Although he's not the greatest and the biggest of threats, he's something different. They're too pretty. Bolton are too pretty for this league. They are too glamorous, too effective. Notts County the same for League Two, and they go and get battered. They go into it's basically like putting this team in Sunday League. All of a sudden, you're getting battered from pillar to post, you're getting shoved around. You're on Concord Park with dog muck everywhere. Bolton one just can't cope with that. Like you say, you said it perfectly before. They've got it easy. Nice pitch, nice ground, nice facilities. Food made for you. Your washing done. You know. Top quality services in League
Good,
One.
that, doesn't it? Having your washing done.
Bolton miles off it. They need someone to come on back against the goal and hold it. The strikers are too similar for me. They were brilliant against Rotherham. Didn't score. I thought they started the halves very well. They ran out of ideas for me, and the too reliant on when they're at their A game for me. But for Wycombe, massive win, and that is a win that could make a statement. And they're going into the playoffs with form as well, which is the main thing. A side that are also on good form is CHARLTON, have been the second best side in the division since December and the second best side in 2025. CHARLTON Athletic have lost 2 of their last 18 home league games against Northampton, a pretty good record, though they did lose it in this fixture last season and defeat at the Valley. Northampton, in their last 11 games, have only won 2, but only lost 4, taking 11 points. They have improved under Nolan, taking 26 points from 22 games, having taken 21 points from their previous 21 games. Northampton, you feel they get out of it, but always somehow the game after get dragged back in.
Oh, was that you bringing me in, Ben? Sorry, you'd spoke for half an hour, so I didn't know if you were bringing me in then. That was my cue, was it? Sorry. I should have read the situation a whole lot better.
I'm not being funny. I write a few stats and then you give your thoughts, and I'll give my opinion. I very rarely get to give my opinion.
Well, maybe that's because people don't trust.
Tell you what, I've got a better idea. How about that? That's a better one. Let's go for the rest of the show.
Happy. I can go and have my ice lolly in peace then. Yeah. What to say about this one? Not a lot, really. It was a classic example of
nothing.
You said I'm not prepared. I have prepared.
Actually. I know. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, go carry on.
I know you said that. You poor right. What am I going to say? Yeah. Yeah, typical Charlton, really. Get themselves in front. They get pegged back, and then the character of them to go and win. Matty Godden again on the score sheet. What's that now? 18 goals in the league so far this season. I thought Northampton were decent. I think they had moments in the game. I thought they got in nice areas, similar to perhaps what we used to speak about with Northampton under John Brady. The build-up's all nice, but it's just that final action. They're currently playing this sort of 3-4-3 formation where Tyler Roberts and Tariq Fosu are playing just off Dara Costello, but Dara Costello just isn't a sole number 9. I think he works best when he's got someone to buzz off, someone to play around, maybe someone like a Tom Eaves, who for some reason, whether that's injury, suspension, whatever it was, unavailable on Friday. But yeah, no, it does seem with Northampton, like, you know, they get a couple of good results. They got the win over Peterborough. I mean, they're still 4 points clear with 3 games to go. So you're asking Bristol Rovers or Burton to get 4 more points over the course of 3 games. And they're essentially talking about a team that have got to win 3 games just to overtake Northampton. So I feel like Cobblers are maybe 1 point away from securing safety into the league. I think they'll be all right on 48. I can't see Bristol Rovers and Burton both accruing another 5 points, both of them. So, yeah, I think they were disappointed, obviously, that they lost. They were, in the game at 1-1. They had a couple of moments in said game. But Charlton, the quality that they've got, Tyrese Campbell, Berry, Thierry Small, Matty Godden, Coventry and Doherty holding it down in midfield, who are a very good double pivot for this level. I'd say even Ramsey and Edwards as 2 flying fullbacks. I mean, they wouldn't have had to defend a huge amount against Northampton, and they're able just to basically play as second wingers behind Campbell and Small and make the pitch even bigger. So, yeah, it was a decent win for Charlton. Obviously, it secured the playoffs for them. They'll now be preparing for that. Obviously, they've got a couple of games and maybe try and look at the top 2. Obviously, only 5 points behind Wycombe, but it's a tough stretch, isn't it? With them and Wrexham both to play. If they do get in there, they'll have absolutely earned it, given the fact that they've got Wycombe and Wrexham still to play, with Burton on the final day. So, yeah, standard routine win for Charlton in my eyes, Ben. Northampton practically there now. I think they've done the hard work. I think that point against Reading was perhaps enough to see them in. But yeah, Charlton, you're backing them for the playoffs, Ben, because they're so good at getting over fine margin games, aren't they?
For me, yes. I think they are the team in form. They are the team that now assert the next game will be get a home tie at the Valley. The ultimate game, the 1% chance is...
They're so good at home. They're so good at home. They've only dropped points in 2 home games all year, haven't they?
In 2025?
Yeah, all year.
Reading and Lincoln.
Reading and Lincoln, correct.
Yeah. You probably felt you probably deserve more, being 2-0 up as well.
Correct.
But that's what Charlton do. And this season...
Can't make it all about Lincoln here, Ben. Come on.
This season, what Charlton have done so well is they've turned draws into wins. They drew 20 times last season. They've only drawn 10 this year. They've won 23 games this year. So they've basically turned 10 draws into wins. That's an extra 20 points. This time last year, where were Charlton? 11th, 12th, 59 points. Yeah. Lincoln are on 58 points now. That's where Charlton were last year. I mean, even below that at times.
We're going to do it, mate.
So just turn draws into wins. And, Fleetwood are the same. Phil was saying to me the other day, can draws steadily turn into wins? And I mentioned Charlton because I think what they've done this season as well. And I look at Blackpool this season, 15 draws. They've got the quality in that side to go on and do it. I really do. And it's all about making sure you turn those draws into victories rather than the other way around. And that Charlton squad has so much belief, so much talent, so much enthusiasm, and they've got a real togetherness. Thierry Small, Tyrese Campbell running down the wing, Connor Coventry, Greg Doherty, goals from Matty Godden. He knows where the net is. He's such a reliable player. Luke Berry. It's been a really, really good season for them. The Valley was packed out like you wouldn't believe. I think there was 20,000 there the other day as well, which is remarkable, for this division where a couple of years ago they were struggling to get 12. And it was empty. You go to the Valley thinking the atmosphere wouldn't be there as well. Fantastic victory for them. And I genuinely do believe in what this side's doing now. Moving on, we will go to where should we go to now for you? Where should we go? I did have originally Rotherham Mansfield, but I'm going to go.
Nothing game, mate. It's a nothing game.
I know you said that. So I think
Wrexham.
You what?
Wrexham.
You think Wrexham? Although it's 0-0, we're going to go to, or by the running order on this, Huddersfield 1, Cambridge 2, because there was a lot on the line in this one. Cambridge could have been pretty much relegated the other day. Results did go in their favour, but also they pulled one up. They went a goal up, a back to 1-1 and 2-1 up. Cambridge were unbeaten across their last 5 league games played on Good Friday. When the clocks go back, Cambridge come to life. They've won 4 of their last 5. They won. Where did they win on Good Friday last year, Jakey boy?
Barnsley.
And where did they win on the Monday?
Wigan at home.
Well done, lad. I'm so glad that you're as autistic as me and you can remember that. Under Harris, Cambridge have won 4, drawn 3, lost 5. Now, I think that Cambridge have been more hard to beat, stronger, winning the 50-50s, win the individual duels, and being resolute. The 5 games that they've lost, 4 of which have been 1-0. The other one was 2-1. So they've been in games. Every single game, they probably felt they could have got something from. Now, you turn one of those losses into wins or 5 of those losses into draws, they are level with the team above them. And that's what Harris has done. There's a belief there. Do I think Cambridge going to say, no, I don't? I think it's going to take an absolute miracle. They probably will be relegated this time tomorrow if results go the way. Bristol Rovers, I think I've got a home game against Stevenage.
Come on, Bristol Rovers.
You're at home against Birmingham. So it is unlikely. But they're still in with a chance. He's come in and made it easier for them. Great result for the youth. For Huddersfield, soft, flaky, and I still can't get over this sack Duff. What a masterstroke that's turned out to be.
Well, you described Huddersfield there as my attempt at baking Ben. Soft, flaky, not really worth my time or my effort. Opposite to be said of Sue's baking, obviously, it's fantastic. Yeah, Huddersfield, Ben, we'll start up with them. Again, a really lackluster performance. They look like they're a football club with not knowing what direction they're going in. Still, the quality they had on the pitch yesterday, it's not yesterday, it's so easy to say yesterday, on Friday, sorry. You'd expect them to win a game against Cambridge. Dion Charles up front obviously scored a lot of goals. Anthony Evans in midfield with Ben Wiles and Callum Marshall have all been fairly productive this year, would be fair to say. Rooskin's a bit of a live wire. Obviously, they left Sorensen and Joe Taylor on the bench, which is surprising given how much money they've spent on both of those players. But yeah, another really poor performance. They are very good at passing it in their own back third. They're very good pinging it around the back. Kasumu, Borka, Pearson, Ruffles, they all get plenty of touches of the ball, but it's in really wrong areas. And look at the chances they created in this game. They've all come from slick passing moves that they're so good at coming out from the back. And I thought Cambridge were able to just sit deep and narrow and really counteract that, really, and hence the 2 goals on the counter attack. Brophy's first goal, the first goal that Brophy scored is absolutely, it's outstanding, isn't it? The touch to set himself and to hit it in the far corner, I'd say it was a bit like you at 5-a-side nappers, but he got it on target. And then, they get pegged back. They get, a Karoma goal, which I think is quite fortunate from a Huddersfield point of view, the way it falls to him in the area. But this Cambridge team under Neil Harris has just got an absolute load of heart in them, and they weren't level for long. Great goal from Sully Kai, who's been a little bit of a enigma this year. He's played really well in some games and perhaps hasn't in others. I remember last year, I think he scored a hat-trick away at Carlisle in a 4-0 win. He's a really talented footballer, just doesn't produce it every week. And I think had he produced it more regularly than he has done in the Cambridge United show, we wouldn't be talking about Cambridge being so far adrift and potentially being relegated, this time tomorrow. So, look, it will give them hope. It will give them confidence. They've got Leyton Orient at home. They'd have wanted it at home. Neil Harris is similar to, in a way, to Ainsworth in terms of he's a fire protector, isn't he? A firefighter. He comes in and tries to affect what he can straight away. He looks at what he can put out and what he can't. And look, they're 5 points away with 3 games to go. Cambridge United know they've got to be pretty flawless between now and the end of the season. For example, Ben, let's put this scenario in your head, right? Burton lose on Monday to Birmingham, which a lot of people are expecting. And let's say, I'm not going to say it's definitely going to happen, Cambridge beat Orient. Burton, Cambridge, they're then playing each other. The 2 points separated them. Cambridge will know if they can go and beat Burton, they'd leapfrog them in the league table, which is a massive plus. And you consider their final game, yes, it's against Birmingham at home. It's probably the worst fixture that they could have wanted. But Birmingham, potentially we have seen it since winning the league. They've been a little bit flat, haven't they? So potentially there's a good opportunity for them there. So yeah, it was a good win for them. They needed it to have any chance. It was sort of like last chance saloon, wasn't it? It's like when you're perhaps on a night out and the only person left is the 1 out of 10 in the corner. It was a last chance result, and they took it. They took it. and it's a great win for them.
Reading 0, Lincoln 1. Reading lost at home. You could also call it Reading 0, the 17th best cathedral that is on a ranking system, winning by 1-0. Reading have won 2 of their last 13 league games against Lincoln City, losing 6 of which, drawing 5. A 1-0 win in 1985 and a 2-1 win in 1998. The Imps get a victory.
That was the year I was born, 1998, rather than 1948, whatever you say.
The Imps get a victory that takes them to 58 points, their 15th victory this season. A +9 goal difference, to be fair to them, which...
Top scorers in the league since Christmas, Ben.
There you are then. However, they're still 11 points off the
Don't get an award for that, unfortunately.
The results elsewhere did mean that Lincoln City cannot make the playoffs this season as well. We didn't know that, did we? Fantastic victory. Reading, with a disappointing result, they've only picked up 7 points in their last 5 games. Not what you want when Leyton Orient are picking up in the same period, winning the last 3. Stockport are in great form and have taken away. Reading at home, you feel with games coming up, that is a missed opportunity. But they've still got Mansfield, Bristol Rovers, and Barnsley to come.
Reading were poor, Ben. Reading were really, really poor. And I didn't expect it because we've spoken so many times over last season and this season how good they were at the Madstad. I thought they started really poor. They allowed us to get on top of them. We had a really couple of openings through Freddie Draper, through Rico Hackett, causing them 1 or 2 problems. They then got themselves back into it. They have got good players, Nibs and Charlie Savage. Lewis Wing had a couple of pot shots from outside the box, but I thought they were really lethargic. And they looked comfortable. Similar to what we said about Bolton, they just looked a little bit comfortable, and we were able to exploit that. And I thought we were really good. I thought maybe we've won 1-0, but maybe we could have won by more than 1 goal given the chances that we had in the game. George Wickens had a couple of saves to make. Sorry, or GG as Sue likes to call him. Gorgeous George.
Not here. So
Sue's not here. Oh, she's out, isn't she?
She's out. Selfish.
I know. What is she doing?
Priorities.
She's got a game tomorrow. She needs to be up early to bake for the players, no doubt. But still, some really good saves from George. He's really come on leaps and bounds over the last sort of couple of months. But yeah, it was comfortable. I thought we were really good. We've got a goal scorer in our team now, and you can tell. I asked this question the other day. Cole asked me this question the other day. You know, if Lincoln had James Collins all season, are they a lot closer to the playoffs, Ben? And the answer to that is yes, because he scored 18 and 17, I think, which is not a too dissimilar record from that little blonde lad that we had on loan from Luton last year, who's not scored that many goals since going into Huddersfield. So, yeah, look, really good win for us. Obviously, it puts us nearly at 60 points now. Reading will be disappointed in the manner in which they played. But yeah, I mean, I certainly wasn't expecting Reading to be that flat. I thought, from what I remember of them last year, they were really good, pressed really high. I was a big fan of Tyler Binden actually on Friday. He was particularly good at the back. But yeah, it was a decent win, mate. I think we deserved it. Maybe could have been and should have been 2 or 3, but a win on the road. Obviously, I didn't go, so it was it was always going to happen, wasn't it? When I decided not to go, they were going to win away from home. But yeah, I was happy with it. I took it. James Collins, absolute masterstroke, and bring on Bolton tomorrow. I think we might do him.
Yeah, great result for you. Rotherham 3, Mansfield 3. Goals galore in this one. Malik Wilkes with 2 goals that probably even opens Jake's other eye up, to be fair.
Right. Is there a need for that? Is there a need to call my boss eye out?
The first goal was an unbelievable strike from 25 yards out into the top corner. Out of this world. The second goal is like, when you put your FIFA on the sliders, is it what like when everyone moves quicker, and like where you just shoot and it just goes, like 100 miles an hour into the goal. You know what I mean? He powers, like, and no player can get near him. Just knocks the ball and dashes past Gareth Bale and just puts a nice finish into the corner. Mansfield come back and get a point. Good point for them, Mansfield, as well. From yes, the being it's not 3, but being 3-1 down and getting a point, which takes them to 48 points. But actually taken 7 points in the last 6 as well. 48 points, which nearly guarantees safety for another season. A victory tomorrow would do that, actually, and get them safe. They'll be targeting 50 points. It's been a good season for Mansfield, although they'll be disappointed with the run in 2025. A bit like Walsall, really. But if you offer them over a long period, this start of the year, it'd be very good.
I think with Mansfield, Ben, if you'd offer them their points more spread out than what they've come, I think they probably would have ended up
100%.
taking it. Whereas they've won their points really early in the season, haven't they? And now it sort of looks a little bit not like a bottle job, but it looks the end of the season looks worse than what it is. Perhaps if they'd have picked it up at a more consistent pace. But look, yesterday is a really, really good point, Ben, for them. Away at Rotherham, who I thought they were going to lose to. A lot of character, George Maris, Jordan Bowery. They were 3-1 down, weren't they? To come back and show that sort of character is outstanding from Mansfield. That it's like you say, it's probably a point that just about tips their place in the league for another year. We think they're going to be okay on 48. So, a fantastic point for them. Look, they've got a lot to work on next year. I think they need to add a lot of League One quality into their team. They've sort of come up with players that I don't think are decent for the level. I think you may be looking at a couple of midfielders, maybe certainly a couple of wing backs and another centre forward. So, I think they'll be. I think it's perspective with Mansfield, isn't it? They'll be really disappointed in what they've in how quickly they've assembled points and then not being able to continue at that sort of rate. So, whereas Rotherham, obviously following the appointment of I can't remember his name for the life of me. His first name is Matt. Ben, can you remember his surname? Matt.
I have.
That's a no.
It's Matt. I'm sure.
We'll go with Matt. We'll go with Matt.
Sure.
Seems like a nice bloke, doesn't Matt?
I'm sure. He's been there years, though. He's been there years.
He's apparently rejected opportunities to go and work with Premier League clubs to stay at Rotherham. So fair play to him, because I've been to Rotherham and it's an absolute dive. I want to spend my life there, but if it's sometimes it is for some people, sometimes it's not for others, isn't it? So. A decent point for them. Mallet Wilkes, I think, putting on a bit of a show, given the fact that he's out of contract in a couple of weeks at Sheffield Wednesday, trying to get himself some interest. Maybe he'll end up at Rotherham. I'm not overly sure. Your mate Sam Nomble on the score sheet as well. So, it's Nomble.
Is it right? Okay.
Sam Nomble.
Anyway. Yeah, great point apiece. A nothing game, but
nothing. It's hard. It's hard for us to analyse it like we have with the others. Yeah, there's 6 goals in it, but it meant nothing. It meant nothing. It's like, do you know what I mean?
Blackpool knew they had to win if they wanted to delay their season continuous, as they went to Stevenage and scored 3 second-half goals. Rob Apter, the former Bamber Bridge and Tranmere man. Rob Apter scored Blackpool's first away hat-trick in any competition since Matt Phillips is away at Fleetwood Town in the Emirates FA Cup in January 2012. Blackpool at the time were a top 6 championship club, while Fleetwood were just in the National League as well, showing the rise of the Cod Army in the last
all about you,
Isle of Blackpool, as they are now just 1 division apart, having just 2 years prior been 5 divisions
apart. Look at you. My God. Considering you used to be a Blackpool fan, you hate him a lot, don't you?
No, I don't. I'm just pointing out facts. They are facts. All 3 were assisted by Ashley Fletcher, who I thought the other day was outstanding. And I think that since the turn of 2025, that Ashley Fletcher has been brilliant. Probably should have more goals for what he does. He misses a lot of opportunities. He's probably a 1 in 3 type of striker. But Ashley Fletcher the other day was outstanding. And this season, he's got 19 goal contributions in 37 games. That's 1 every 2 games. Or if you ask Daniel Luca, that's 2 a game. But he's 1 every 2 games as well. It's fantastic. It's his best season in football, really. But I think, Barry's season at Middlesbrough where he got 13 goals, 7 assists in all competitions. So he'll want to get better than that as well. Blackpool ended his Stevenage run unbeaten in their last 7 home games against Lancashire clubs, since a 3-0 defeat to Accrington Stanley in May 2017. And Blackpool have just lost one of their last 6 games against Stevenage, keeping 4 clean sheets in that time. Blackpool with another victory. 63 points. If they win every single game before now and the end of the season, they could get to 75 points. The games are against Wrexham, Birmingham, Bristol Rovers, and Wigan. So it's going to be tough, but Steve Bruce has done a good job there. And a lot of people gave him abuse, including myself. He's done a good job there.
Yeah, he's sort of doing similar to what Nathan Jones and John Messino have both done before him, haven't they? In building up momentum at the end of the season to try and start next year in a bit of a better vein of form. And Saturday, I've done it again, Ben, with bloody Friday games of doing one nothing. They've done it again. Away from home, they've been outstanding. I think they're a really good away side, Blackpool, far better than at home, and that's why they've had the troubles at Bloomfield Road. I think the pace that they've got in the team, Ben, you're talking about Apter and Sonny Carey playing out wide. You've got Ennis and Fletcher who offer that pace, and behind Tom Black, Boxham off the bench, CJ Hamilton off the bench, and Silvera, players with a lot of pace. And when you're playing away from home, you need that pace on the break to try and catch your position out. And I think that's what they're able to do with a Stevenage team who are, recently they've been very good defensively. So to see this team concede 3 goals at home is quite surprising. But when they've got the pace of Blackpool and Rob Apter, who I think Rob Apter was probably putting one of the best performances that I've seen of an individual player this season so far. When they played
He's a great player
at Central Bank, and actually I thought he was quite good when we played him at Bloomfield Road on that Tuesday night as well. With the quality midfield of Albie Morgan and Lee Evans, they're always going to stand a chance. But I certainly think this Blackpool team, they could get to 75 points. So it's doable. It really is doable, but they've got to win all 4 games. And I think Blackpool I can see them winning 3 of them, maybe not all 4. I think it's a big ask for them to do that. But still, Ben, they'll be looking ahead to next season with a lot of confidence, going that, we've seen it with Pompey, we've seen it with Charlton, build up a little bit of momentum, attack the summer window. With a manager like Steve Bruce, who players will want to play for, given his stature in the game, they've got every chance. Stevenage, copy and paste pretty much what we said about Rotherham and Mansfield, really. Season over for them. They've got to 52 points. They've been in really poor form. I seem to think that's only 3 wins in 8 or 3 wins in 9. Now, not the best run of form for Stevenage.
Very patchy, aren't they?
And they were getting away with not scoring many goals because they didn't they scored 1 and they shut the other team out. Whereas now, they're still scoring that 1, but they're changing goalkeepers, Ben. They've had Murphy Cooper in goal all season on loan from QPR, but they've recently gone back to Tay Ashby Hammond, who was so good for them last season as they got a decent finish in the league. So look, it's a good season for Stevenage, Ben, because second season syndrome, I think, is a thing, and they've done well to stay in the league, I think.
Just saying, tomorrow it won't be confirmed tomorrow, but it could be nailed on confirmed that you finish above Stevenage. If you win tomorrow, Stevenage lose, you go 9 in front. They'll have 3 games left, but a plus 19 goal difference at the very minimum they'll have to make up. And one of the games is Birmingham. So
when that moment does come, I will be playing money-related tunes on the live stream, mate, just so that Farley doesn't forget to pay.
Money talks.
I'll let you do the singing. I'm not much of a singer.
Wrexham knew they had to get points on the board against a struggling Bristol Rovers side that had lost their last 6.
Oh, I just went to reach to do it again, Ben.
Wrexham, although they're unbeaten in their last 7 games, have drawn 3 of the last 4 matches since being 6 points clear of which, dropping points away at Cambridge and away at Wigan and then at home to Bristol Rovers, who, in my opinion, I don't want to come on this show again and say the same thing because I have not got an anti-Wrexham agenda, but the goal should not count. The goal should not count. One minute is a handball.
Reece James. Reece James.
It was a handball. There was a handball. There was a handball, mate.
I can understand why the referee.
He touched the hand, mate.
He put his hands down by his side.
But he put his hand to put onto the ball, mate. He has.
I can understand why the referees missed it.
If that's Lincoln City, I'm sorry.
Oh, mate,
we're
going to trial. But I from the angle that I saw behind it, I can understand why the referees perhaps thought.
I can understand why he's missed it, but it's a mistake. And I'm not getting it. But Wrexham again. I've had plenty against them this season as well.
Plenty for them.
They've had plenty against them as well. And I think most people want them to fail, to be fair, as well. Reece James came out and said he's using less information to help Wrexham gain promotion from League One. He understands what it means to the football club. It's disappointing. The last 4 games, they haven't been at the best. At Birmingham, I didn't think they were even at the best where they won 3-0. Scoreline inflates it a little bit as well. Look, Wrexham battered them in terms of shots and had large amounts of the ball, but Bristol Rovers did well. They dug in, and I've labelled Bristol Rovers as a bit flaky. They showed a bit of steel, to be fair to them, and we've got to give them credit for that. Only the 7th draw of the season, but it keeps them in there. Burton still got the upper hand. They've got to beat Stevenage and Reading this week, and I think we can do that. I really do. For Wrexham, I still think they're still in it. I still think they've got the upper hand, but I don't think they'll win the last 3 games of the season.
They've got an easier running, haven't they, Wrexham? But yeah, I think Bristol Rovers actually played particularly well, and we like to mock Bristol Rovers because of the not only the horrific accent, but also the fact that they're just very bad at football and have been for the last season or so. But I actually thought they stood up and were counted for. Taylor Moore getting his first goal. I think it's in 5 years now. He last scored in the Championship for Bristol City. That was a big moment for him. Funny how it's 2 ex-Bristol City players getting on the score sheet in a Bristol Rovers game, wasn't there, Ben? Clearly they like to swap players a little bit, and perhaps it's known as a little bit of player swinging. But they were... I thought Bristol Rovers were unfortunate. They played really well. Like you say, the incident with the Wrexham goal, it is handball, but I can understand why the ref missed it from his position. It looks like Matty James has just got his arm down by the side. It's not clear. Maybe that's a moment where you want the 4-4, you want the linesman to try and help him out a little bit, but he doesn't. Bristol Rovers also had a shout for a penalty, Ben, which I'm not sure if you've seen it on Shaq Ford. I thought it would have been a little bit soft. I know there's a push on him, but I think you see them sort of things happening in the penalty area a lot of games. In terms of the game, I think Calderon again made some really suspicious substitutes. Bringing on Grant Ward, who didn't particularly have a fantastic out, and Mola as well for Thomas. Thomas was a real pain for Wrexham down that left-hand side. Taking off Kofi Shaw as well, who's he's only 18, but he's fitted into this Bristol Rovers team exactly like a glove. So, there'll be shoots of positivity for Bristol Rovers. A decent point that nobody expected them to get. They've not bettered Burton's result, but they have maintained it with a game against Stevenage, who are as beachy as they come on Monday. Obviously, like you say, Reading at the Mem. There's something about the Mem, innit? When they need a result at the Mem, Bristol Rovers,
horrible place to go to.
9 times out of 10, they get it when they need it. You're thinking about that game against Scunthorpe. Lots of games in that promotion running as well, in which they got
even
promoted.
Recently, Bolton at home,
Huddersfield at home. So look, they'll make it difficult. Hopefully for Stevenage tomorrow. I'm hoping the Gas can do me a favour. But they've got themselves here, and I've seen this a lot of fans, and we're all guilty of it. I think I've seen a lot of Bristol Rovers fans say, "Well, if we get relegated, it's on that referee or it's on that decision." And I said this before. I said we'd have got in the playoffs if we didn't just. It's excuses, isn't it? It's if Bristol Rovers get relegated, and it's the same for Burton, it's the same for Crawley, it's the same for Cambridge, it's because the footballers that represent them have not been good enough over the course of the season. It's not because of one ref, it's not because of one decision, it's because of your players over the course of the whole entire season. They have not performed well enough to stay in the league or complete your objectives. So I've seen a lot of that on Twitter, and I know I was guilty of it last year when we didn't get in the playoffs. Absolutely. If this referee had done this, if this referee had done that, they've got to take some accountability, I think. But much improved from Bristol Rovers yesterday, which I needed personally. Wrexham, like you say, they've got the easier games, haven't they, Ben? Looking at the games that they've still got to play. Obviously, Charlton's a tough one, but they're at home. Blackpool at Bloomfield Road not been as good, and then they've got to come to Sincil Bank on the final day. Hopefully, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are going to be crying on the pitch. It would be nice to see, wouldn't it?
8 games done, 4 to go. Shrewsbury were relegated before kick-off yesterday after 10 years in the division, become the second side in consecutive years. Then 10 years in the division, then get relegated on the 10th year of them being in there as well and ending their time in with a 1-0 scoreline as well. Shrewsbury Town suffered their 8th Football League relegation with their first since the 23rd finish in League One in the 13-14 season. Shrewsbury had not won in 14 matches, only picking up 4 points in that run. Shrewsbury are currently on course for the second lowest points tally in League One for the last decade. This is over a 46-game season, that is, so don't include Bolton back in season 1920. How many points do you reckon got the lowest in the last decade in League One?
Who got the it was Forest Green, wasn't it?
Nope.
It wouldn't have been Carlisle. Lowest points tally.
Just let me make sure on Forest Green. I think they got more than this.
I know when Tranmere went down. Oh, that's maybe not in 10 years. Stockport neither.
Yeah, Forest Green are the lowest. Who's the second lowest?
Oh, so okay.
Lowest.
What you should say to me is, Jake, you were right.
You were right. Who's the second lowest?
Thank you. I'm not off
29 points. They're in League Two now. We've watched them in the last 12 months together.
Crawley or Crew.
Correct. Well done, mate. Like that one. Wigan with a victory, first one under Ryan Lowe, staying in the division for another season. Shrewsbury have failed to win any of their last 9 league games against Wigan. Good victory for the Ticks. Wasn't vintage. It's not been all season for Wigan, but they get 50 points with 4 games to go. And they've lost less games than Bolton, so that can be another trophy parade for them.
Just be careful. We've got some Wigan friends that we need to keep friendly for next year. Yeah, obviously the news coming through that Shrewsbury...
The next year? Who told you?
You did. When you were in your members video, probably being particularly soppy about it. Obviously with the news that they've been relegated before kickoff, it sort of makes the whole atmosphere a little bit subdued, a little bit flat, doesn't it? And I think that was the case on Friday against Wigan for Shrewsbury, knowing they were down. In fairness, I think Mike Appleton's actually done pretty well since going in. I think he's
although he's not won, but he's lifted the lads.
He's lifted the morale. He's got them playing a more attractive brand of football, which I think will be better for the club long term in terms of trying to come back to this level. But yesterday again, just really poor. Similar amount of shots, nearly the same amount of touches inside the box as well. So they are getting there, Shrewsbury, but they come up against a Wigan team who have, I think, one of the most clinical strikers in the league in Dale Taylor. I think Charlie put it in a chat earlier, didn't he? Talking about efficiency. And I listened to him on the Progress of Unity podcast this morning as I was getting ready to go out, about how Dale Taylor I think he's scored 10 of like 30 odd shots on target that he's had. I really think that they're what am I trying to say? I've got no idea what I'm trying to say, Ben.
It's a mid-table game. Wigan in mid-table, Shrewsbury relegated.
Correct.
We wish them best of luck for next season. Michael Appleton's gone in, refreshed the football club a little bit. He's probably going to stay.
He's got 10 in 18 shots on target. Dale Taylor, I don't think we'll see him in League One again next year. I think he'll be in the Championship.
A good season for him as well. He did well at Wycombe at times last season. We wish Shrewsbury all the best. League Two is a horrible league, and with the ownership issues there, you never do know. We're 5 likes away from 50. Please, can you give us a like? And if you've not subscribed, I've been stuck on the same number of subscribers for like 2 days. If you could subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. We're 123 away from 17,000 subscribers. I'm pleading, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. You what, mate?
I'm just trying to see if I've got any more accounts on my phone that I can subscribe on.
Thanks, mate. Peterborough 1, Stockport 1. Peterborough have lost one of their last 7 league games played on a Good Friday. Normally a good day for them, some can say as well. But it's another game against a side at the top end of the division where they're 1-0 up till late on and they don't come away with 3 points. This time to Stockport. Previously, it was to Wycombe where they feel like they could have had an extra 4 points this season. They did lose on this day last season. Who did they lose on this day last season? 3-1 at home.
Carlisle.
Correct. Who scored?
John Mellish, hat-trick.
Correct. Well done, lad. Good lad. I didn't even have that.
I've got my uses, haven't I?
Well, that's debatable. But again, another point for Peterborough that they weren't getting at the start of the year. And a decent point for Stockport overall. Away at Peterborough is a tougher place than it has been this season. You know, Peterborough now are on 49 points. Look, they are 20 points worse off where they probably should feel they should be. Don't get me wrong, they've still conceded 73 goals, which is an issue for them. For Stockport, everything but now playoff confirmed. Their next goal is overtake Charlton and try and it is going to pretty much be, as it stands, Charlton against Stockport in the playoffs, and they're fighting for who gets that leg in the second leg at their home ground, because that is a massive difference, isn't it? Edgeley Park, the Valley.
I don't think Stockport will bother because they've been quite good away from home.
No, but going to the Valley, tough place, sold out. You want it.
There could be 2 or 3 goals up by that point. So there could be 2 or 3 goals up in the tie by that point. Like, I don't, obviously we went to Sunderland 2-0 up, didn't we? We were absolutely fine. So, yeah, a bit of a.
Yeah, mate, was it were you 2-0 down at half time?
Yeah.
And then you scored in the second half 2. What, you lost 2-1?
Yeah, 1-3-2, didn't we?
Because remember, they battered you in that first half, didn't I?
Charlie White, Mr. Sitter.
Yeah. And then
Tom Hopper.
He got abused for that, thinking he was taking them, but he wasn't.
He was doing the Alan Shearer, mate. Anyway, good point for Stockport. Jack Diamond obviously getting on the score sheet. Always love it when he does well, given what he's been through over the last sort of 18 months or so. Yeah, decent point for them. Obviously, Peterborough have been much better over the last couple of weeks. They've really drastically improved since certainly winning the cup final as well has helped them in that cause. But a good point for Stockport. I thought they were good. I thought they were really good. And maybe could have actually won the game. But yeah, it's a 1-1 draw, Ben. There's not a huge amount to say. It's apart from the late goal, tidy finish from Jack as well, to be fair.
Absolutely.
Exeter
0, Burton 0. Exeter unbeaten in the last 4 meetings, with Burton having won the last 3 prior to this one. Exeter have lost just 3 of their Football League games played on a Good Friday at home, winning 5, drawing 5, drawing the last one. 1-1 against Charlton in March last year, as well as this one as well. Getting points regularly now. Exeter are a weird one. They start the season well, go on a bad period, and end the season well, going with optimism for the next season. Exeter again are looking for a strong finish. They're looking at trying to break into the top 12. In the last 6, they've won 2, they've drawn 2, they've lost 2. They're at 53 points. They're saved for another season. It looked likely maybe 10, 15 games ago, if we're being honest. For Burton, it's a battling point. They feel they probably needed more from it, but they feel it's another point towards safety. They've gone and shut out a side in decent form out away from home. If you want to go and be really positive, they've kept 2 clean sheets back to back. In the month of April, they beat Orient, they beat Huddersfield at home and got a point away. Would they have taken 7 points from the 4? They would. I bet you David probably thought they could beat Orient at home, probably get a point at Huddersfield and win at Exeter. And maybe swap those two results round. He'd have taken 4 points from the last two. So sometimes there's a bit of context behind it. They've got Cambridge at home. They've got Wigan at home. They've got a home game against Birmingham tomorrow and a away game against Charlton. It's tough. The Brewers, I'd love to see him stay up. Gary Bowley's done an excellent job there. A little stat for you. Him and Pete Wild have identical records since going in, and one's up for manager of the season, and one feels that they should be doing a lot better. That shows you how tough League One is and the job that Burton had.
Sorry, Ben. Yes, I was meant to go. Feel free to let me know when I'm coming in.
I don't need to say Jake. I feel like we've been doing this show long enough for you to understand, but...
Sorry, mate. I'm buzz-eyed. I was probably looking at something else. So, yeah, no, it was... I watched this game Saturday lunchtime, and it will be fair that the weather killed it, really. I thought Exeter had the better chances. Macmillan had one where he should score. Max Coker makes a good save. Burton at the other end had one blocked that just went over the bar as well. Look, it was a game of really low quality. I think both teams could have played on, they could still be playing now going into tomorrow's games, and neither of them would have scored. The pitch quality didn't help. Obviously, the water was certainly down the end where the Burton fans were. The water was really sort of coming to the surface, and it was really hard for the players to really pass the ball on there. But yeah, no, it was I don't know, mate. It was a really poor quality game. But in terms of X, obviously, that their season being over, they'll be happy with it. Another clean sheet for Joe Whitworth, who's continued to impress this season. But now, being like you say, with Bristol Rovers only getting a point away at Wrexham, it helps them. It keeps them out of that bottom four conversation for now. But we know on Monday against Birmingham, they've got tomorrow they've got a really big ass. So, yeah. I was disappointed in this one. I thought maybe we were going to have a couple of goals, a couple of mistakes, but I think both teams were just too afraid to lose it. Therefore, we got a goalless draw.
Birmingham 0, Crawley 0. Birmingham celebrations of going up seems to continue a flat 0-0 performance at home. Crawley had a chance. Birmingham had a couple of chances. Stanfield probably should have scored with his chance that I think was it Pakeaway what have made a long ball in behind, and it's a really good save by the 8th goalkeeper in goal for Crawley this season as well. Coming on a week's loan as well. Their issue with goalkeepers carry on as well. Mustn't help the defence that as well. Birmingham have not lost Birmingham have lost just one of their last 12 home league games played on Good Friday, winning 7, drawing 4 in the last 12 years. Since joining the Football League, Crawley have lost just one of their last 13 games played on Good Friday as well. Crawley get a point. Again, it is an issue. Crawley could be relegated come tomorrow if results go against them. Getting towards that time of the season now where things get decided in the last 4 or 5 games of the season. Shrewsbury got relegated. Crawley have done well to get 37 points. They feel the performances probably deserve a little bit more at times, but they just haven't had the quality to finish off chances. For Birmingham, I'm getting a bit fed up with them now. I just want them to go up. Want a new challenge. Want someone else to blow me away. They're looking for the 30th victory of the season tomorrow. I think that they've got Burton tomorrow. They'll be wanting to blow off a bit of steam. They haven't been at the best in the last 2 games. They want to get to 100 points. They can get to 111 now. They need another 10 points in the last 5 games to break even on the record. I know Davis is very adamant that he wants Birmingham to keep winning because no team in the EFL have lost more games than Birmingham in the last decade. When you think about that, they've been in the Championship suffering. They managed to come down to this league and start again and freshen the squad up to go back into the Championship and go again. It's been the best thing that's happened to Birmingham. Haven't been at the greatest for the last 2 games, but we judge them over 41 games and they've been the best side in the division over that. They've got go again Thursday. I think they've got to go Thursday, Sunday, Saturday. It's going to be relentless for them, but it's a challenge for them, and they're going to go and get over 100 points. But for Crawley, shows you how far that football club has come in recent years, from the non-league to getting promoted last year, to go away at Birmingham City, keep a clean sheet and get a point. That is just again, what Birmingham will come up against. Oh, it's Tin Pot, they'll say. But for a side like Crawley that get 2,500, 3,000 fans to go away at Birmingham and get a 0-0, I know myself and Fleet would have done it. It would be a proud moment in their history that they've gone to a former, European side, former, League Cup winner, Premier League side, 29,000 in the crowd. It's not a victory, but it's a moment where how far little old Crawley have come. Fair play to them.
Did they deserve the point, Ben?
You tell me.
Don't know. It was a 0-0, so it wasn't one that I paid a huge amount of attention to. But it's Birmingham City.
You had the chance. Burton, they had a lot of chances. Birmingham had a lot of the ball, and it's same old going to St Andrews and sitting in, and hopefully, but they had a couple of shots on target, which some other clubs haven't this season at their place.
Are we having a go? Are we having a bit of a scrap?
If we went to St Andrews, I bet we'd have a shot on. Well, not with this current squad, but with our 11, we would. We'd have a shot on target.
No, you wouldn't.
And then if we'd lose 1-0 for a penalty, I wouldn't be going, well, we deserve to win.
No, look, mate, Birmingham drew 0-0 with Crawley. Shows how far Crawley have come. Birmingham clearly still drunk from winning the league. It was, I'm sorry, Blue Noses, you expected a huge amount of analysis there, but 0-0s don't really get my attention when I have to prepare for this show. I'm sorry. I'd rather look at goals. So, unfortunately, mate, I've not looked at that game, but it looks like a 0-0. So, should we do predictions, Ben?
Absolutely. Please keep liking and subscribing. Let's have a bit of a like update as well. If you haven't liked, we are currently we're 51 likes. Let's see if we can get to 60 by the end of the stream.
Come on, people. I don't know who you are, but surely you could share it to some people so we can get some more likes. Surely Nappers deserves more likes than 51. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Hold on. Ben, poor week for you. 4 points. I told you this on FaceTime earlier, didn't I? 4 points. You got the correct outcomes in CHARLTON, Northampton, Orient, Barnsley, Rotherham, Mansfield, and Stevenage, Blackpool. Whereas I got 10 points, getting correct scores in CHARLTON, Northampton, and Shrewsbury, Wigan. So means, Ben, you're on 345 points, whilst I am out in front on 351. So, with not a huge amount of games remaining, Ben, we have a bit of a leader. But obviously, this weekend it could all be gone. So, starting with you, Ben. Barnsley at home to Peterborough United.
Barnsley 2, Peterborough 1.
I'm going to go Barnsley 1, Peterborough 1. Blackpool at home to Wrexham. Oh, dear. Oh, I don't know. I think they're going to get something. Blackpool 1, Wrexham 2.
2-0 Wrexham. I was going to go
2-1. Ben, coming to you for the old speed camera against Stevenage.
Bristol Rovers 2, Stevenage 0.
Yeah, big fan of that. I'm going to go 2-1, Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers. Burton against Blues, Ben, for me.
2-1 Blues.
You just go first, mate, when it was my turn. Do you read the rules? Genuinely.
You go first.
2-1 Blues.
No, you can't do that.
It's my go first, mate. 2-1. No, 2-0 Blues.
2-1 Blues.
Right, Ben, coming to you first for Cambridge Orient. I'm going to go Cambridge. No, I'm joking. Go on. Cambridge Orient.
2-0 Orient.
I'm going to go 2-1 Orient. I think Cambridge make a fist of it. Crawley Exeter. I'm going Crawley 1, Exeter 1.
Crawley 2, Exeter 1.
Ben, to you for Lincoln versus Bolton Wanderers.
Lincoln 0, Bolton 1.
Don't like you anymore. Lincoln 2, Bolton 0. I think we beat them.
Okay.
Paulie's back on Monday, so good luck, Bolton. You're not seeing the injuries that Bolton have got as well? Oh, mate, they're in trouble. Right, me first from Mansfield Reading. I'm going to go Mansfield 1, Reading 1.
Mansfield 0, Reading 1.
Ben, to you for Northampton versus Shrewsbury.
Northampton 2, Shrewsbury 0.
I'm going to go 2-1. Shrewsbury won there last year, didn't they?
Yes, they won 2-0. Udo scored, didn't he? I think that That's a perfect game for Northampton, but Shrewsbury, when you've been relegated, when Fleetwood were pretty much relegated last year, we won 3 of our last 4, so you never know. Weird results happen this time of the year.
Stockport versus Huddersfield. I'm going basic, standard. I'm going to tick it off so that Ben can't do it. Stockport 2, Huddersfield 0.
Stockport 1, Huddersfield 1.
Just you watch, that will come in there. Ben, to you first for Wigan versus Rotherham at the Brick Community
Wigan 2,
Stadium.
Rotherham 1. Welcome to the Brick Community Stadium with me, Barry Worthington. And me, Charlie Keegan.
Paul Thorpe. Wigan, Rotherham. Yeah,
Wigan
why not?
scored! 71!
Will you go 2-1?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-0, Wigan.
I remember when I went on at 9 o'clock in the morning and he was in his pyjamas. And I was talking about you. He goes, oh, he's a cracking lad. He's Jake, isn't he? He's a great lad. He's Jake. I was like, it's a cross between Red All Over and Neil Warnock.
Barry is one of the best blokes I've ever met.
Yeah.
And then for me, Wycombe versus Charlton. I'm going Wycombe Wanderers 1, Charlton Athletic 0.
Wycombe 1, Charlton 2. Upset at Adams Park.
So, hold on. Let me just get the... because I'm pretty sure Birmingham play on Sunday, don't they? Hold on. April fixture.
Birmingham play on Sunday, yeah. On Thursday.
Eh?
We're on Wednesday, mate.
I've just done the... Oh, yeah. Never mind. Cool.
Do we do a show Tuesday or Wednesday? I think we're doing Tuesday.
Thought we were going to do Wednesday like we normally do.
I just think maybe the day after we might get maybe more people in.
Oh, okay. That's all right, mate. We'll do a show on Tuesday, either or.
Yeah,
I'll be available, mate. Don't worry. I'll be here. After work, putting the hours in, putting the graft in. You know me.
I think Tuesday. Go Tuesday.
Tuesday night it is. They are then. We've done it in 1 hour and 20 tonight, which...
Any quick questions? Because I've got a nip up after this show. I'm going into work, so that's great.
You're going to work?
I'm going to work after this show, yeah.
Yeah? What for?
Because it's been even and they need help, so...
you are a good Samaritan.
I agreed for 2 hours. They needed me in at 8 o'clock, and I can't get in until 9:45. So...
We're doing glass collecting?
Basically, yeah. Good. Lincoln 1, Burton 1. I can see that. Any questions, get them in. Get liking, get subscribing. Do appreciate that.
I'll be prolonging this as long as possible so I don't have to go to work.
Yeah. I might just say, I broke my leg. Wigan 1, Rotherham 2. Yeah.
Rovers staying up? No, not in my opinion.
No. I can see a world where they do.
So you're going yes, and I'm saying no.
I don't know.
You've always got to disagree with me, Ben, haven't you?
These 2 home games, I think, for Bristol Rovers are going to be the difference.
Bristol Rovers. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. 3-0 Stockport. Yeah, can see that. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Do appreciate you more than you could know. I'm at Harrogate tomorrow. You're at home to Bolton. So, new ground for me tomorrow. I am doing it.
We have a pie.
It's going to be like a monthly video on the championship. But if you want more championship content, it'll be mainly on my TikTok pages for championship content. That's where I produce a lot of my bulk content now. And then I'll have videos on here as well. There are going to be loads of videos on here. It's that time of the season now, I'm going to be honest, where the videos are very short because you're waiting for outcomes. There is a video on Birmingham City going to come out at the end of the season or in the next week or so. Or 2 weeks or so when they get 100 points. And then at the end of the season, kind of videos, end of the season awards, team of the season, reacting to tables, etc. playoffs. There's probably about 8 or 9 videos I've got to plan at the end of the season. So thank you for staying patient. And if you haven't already, please do get liking and please do get subscribing. Also, yes, this time next week, I am going to hopefully do a show next Sunday, right? I'm doing Manchester Marathon next Sunday.
Oh, well, of course you are. Yeah.
Yes. And I know he's only sitting in a chair, but there will be a live show. But my prep's all going to have to be done Saturday night. So I'm open for under 4 hours. So,
good land.
yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your support. Please drop us a like on your way out. A big thank you to this man as well, and a massive thank you for his efforts, not just today, not just this season, but over the last 3 or 4 years. He's been fantastic, a great contributor. And we
You make my head blow up, mate.
We do appreciate him on this channel. The efforts he's given to this channel while he's been a part of it has been fantastic.
I'm going to be sick.
And
I'm going to violently throw up.
Gives his time up. And I think that we all deserve a round of applause for Jakey in the comments. That's all. Obviously, it'll be gutted in a couple of weeks' time when it all comes to an end. But we wish him all the best of luck for the future. And I'm sure that that League Two podcast will look after him well from the season after next.
Is that the one that you and Matt were going to create?
Yeah. And then you kicked off
about the ground, didn't it? That got off the ground.
Thank you very much for everyone that watches and likes and comments. Please like on your out. Please subscribe. Thank you again for the donations to Shane and Sadie. There's a membership video dropping tomorrow as well.
Wow. So I'll probably be in that somewhere.
For watching. You are. Jake, where can they go and find your links? OnlyFans, not Jake Tong.
My OnlyFans, link in the Twitter bio, mate. Yeah, Twitter. Come and follow me on Twitter. I'm now on the road to 2,000 followers. So if you give me a follow on Twitter, I'd appreciate it. And then my podcast as well. We had an episode come out yesterday with Colin from the Fan Zone podcast. So if you want to check that out, please do.
Perfect. Jake, thank you forever. Thank you
forever. Thanks forever. No, that's all right, mate.
I love you forever. I will always forever. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you Tuesday. See you Tuesday, 8 o'clock, League One Live. Thanks for watching. Tuesday. See you Tuesday.